Squarespace is our sponsor for today. They're the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional websites or online portfolio. I use Squarespace to make my website, and you should too. Just look at the IcedTFinalLevel.com site. It took me about 2 hours to make, and it looks just as good as any website that any designer has ever made for me in the past. Start with a free trial at squarespace.com with no credit card required. When you're ready to purchase a plan, get 10% off with the offer code ICE. That's SQUARESPACE.com. Offer code ICE.
Upon initial contact with Ice-T's music, I had envisioned him to be an ill-mannered and psychologically unstable man with an extremely uneducated and barbaric frame of mind, whose raps displayed nothing but ridiculous jargon, shocking sexual audacity, and repulsive images of the ghetto. However, after further analysis of his music, I can deduce that he is the epitome of anti-disestablishment terrorism, who embodies the entire spectrum of the urban experience and struggle. But to make things more plain and simple to the layman, I find Ice-T to be the dopest, flyest, OG pimp, hustler, gangster player, hardcore motherfucker living today. To be honest, I am totally and completely on his dick.
Welcome to the Ice-T Final Level Podcast, featuring your co-host, Mick Benzo, and your host,
Ice-T.
Hey, yo, what's up? This is Ice-T, and we're back with the Final Level Podcast.
Podcast number 4 with Mick Benzo and Ice-T. You can catch me on Sirius XM. It's the longest-running hip-hop show in existence. Zulu Nation, stand up.
That's what's up. So, once again, I like to thank all the new listeners. This is becoming a viral thing. People are telling a friend. And like we said, most of our listeners have never even listened to a podcast before. So this is definitely a word of mouth thing. But I want to give a special shout out to all the Dungeons and Dragons people that came in since the last podcast because of, my explanation of doing a Dungeons and Dragons book. And y'all have been phenomenal. I mean, I'm watching y'all on Twitter. It's nothing but love. And let me clarify something. When I said I did the Dungeons and Dragons book, don't get it twisted. I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it was difficult. You know what I'm saying? I have nothing against Dungeons and Dragons, geeks, or nerds. I tell you, I just hate dumb fucks, okay? So I went to do it. Now, think about it. What wouldn't Ice-T like about a dungeon or a motherfucking dragon? That shit sounds dope to me. So I'm not that familiar with it, but I'm becoming more familiar every day, and I'm definitely going to play a game. I want to be a dungeon master. People actually told me I should start my own game. I think I'm going to call it Basements and Gangsters or Ghettos and Gangsters or something like that, and do it similar to this because this seems really cool. But when I said it was difficult, that's what I was talking about. Reading it was difficult. Let me explain to you some of the other things I had to do during the reading of this book. I had to act out all the characters' voices, Mick.
Oh, you act out. How many characters was it?
There's like 5 characters. There's like 3 women. Imagine that. Then 2 other guys that are jumping around, flying around on horses. Then I had to be the voice of the sword, but the sword talks in the motherfucker's head. So I got to be a voice of like a conscience.
Right.
And then all these motherfuckers decide they want to have conversations. And people are like, oh, well, the words aren't that hard. Dude, the main motherfucker's name is Trizd, like Trizzzt, Der Odin. All right? Trizder Odin. Okay? Now, when the other person talks to him, they don't go, A, they say, and they say their name before. Like if I'm going to talk to you, I'll say, and Mick Benzo, I'd like to tell you this. And you go, and Ice-T. It's like trying to read an entire animated feature, but you're all the voices, and you're trying to do it in line as it happens. Man, I was losing my motherfucking mind, man. But at the end of the day, when we finished it, it sounds kind of dope. If I put my name to something, it's going to be good. As good as I can possibly do it. I'm not taking anything lightly. I know, this is something that has a serious fan base, and I want to make them proud of me. And who knows, maybe one day, first I said I'd never do it again. Who knows? I might do another book. I might, this might be a new thing. The motherfuckers might like my voice.
So our podcast listeners can look forward to that book being put out soon?
Like I said, I'll keep you abreast of when this shit comes out. But thanks for all the love. And all the people out there that might have misinterpreted what I was saying. Oh, Ice-T, he was dissing Dungeon. I wasn't dissing Dungeons and Dragons, you sensitive motherfucker. I was saying the shit was difficult. I was admitting my failure at trying to read it. But I also, I'm not going to be able to say I could read a fucking book on quantum physics or microbiology either. You know what I'm saying? The shit was hard. And also with, after, we did put it out there that I read the book, we got crazy emails, fans. One fan, rewrote Cop Killer, but in Dungeons and Dragons slang and words. It's just been overwhelming and stuff. So, people start sending me pictures of dragons and stuff. And, I mean, who better a Dragon Master or Dungeon Master than Ice-T, Lord Ice-T.
What I saw a lot of people responding in Dungeons and Dragons in reference to you say you're the Lord of the podcast.
Lord of the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm the master of the Grandmasters.
Master of the Grandmaster. Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons, that's going to be a hell of a goddamn Audible book, though.
This episode is brought to you by NatureBox. NatureBox is a dope subscription service that sends you great tasting snacks right to your door. NatureBox is great for the home, office, or the player on the go. I just started using NatureBox, and they got the best Fuji dried apples, banana bread granola, and chili lime pistachios I've had in a long time. For 50% off your first box, go to naturebox.com/iced. What are you waiting for? That's naturebox.com/ICET. This is News with Ice-T. Mick, let's talk about this clown George Zimmerman.
You talking about George Zimmerman, the gentleman that did the Stand
Your Ground law.
Your Ground law for killing a young...
Unarmed
black gentleman. For real. Let's just keep it real. He killed the young black kid who had no
weapon on him.
Doesn't
matter if he's black. He killed the kid.
Bottom line, a child. Matter of fact, that should have been child abuse if it wasn't even murder.
It was murder. There ain't no child abuse. Once you kill him, it's murder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I hate? I hate all this noise that's going on right now with this dude, George Zimmerman, talking about he want to box somebody and they going to promote, and rappers are talking about they going to box him. I think the last one was DMX. I mean, this shit is bullshit.
You know what, though, Ice? I don't think they should make a goddamn dime out of that. What's your thought about George Zimmerman boxing anybody? Who he should box? Let's give him a box.
Who the fuck is George Zimmerman? George Zimmerman is a dude who killed the kid because he was walking through his neighborhood in a black hoodie, an unarmed kid.
Right.
He claims it was stand your ground. Okay, he had to stand your ground law. But the kid, if you got a gun and I don't have a gun, how the hell are you standing your ground?
Exactly.
The unarmed guy, basically, he got away with murder.
Yeah.
In my idea. Nobody needed to die that night.
That's my opinion, too. That's my opinion.
Nobody needed to die that night. Okay, so now there's a dead kid. I like to see George Zimmerman try to make it through my neighborhood in a white hoodie.
Right.
In the middle of the night.
With a pack of Skittles, too.
Yeah, So anyway, my thing is no, he's not a celebrity. People should not make these cats celebrities. I mean, what's this motherfucker gonna be on Dancing with the Stars next?
Yeah, that's his next stop.
So I'm just like, yo, and if this motherfucker wants to fight, obviously you can see I don't like George Zimmerman.
Right,
but
neither do I.
If this motherfucker wants to fight, why don't we get an inmate from prison who went
dope.
in for murder?
Oh, that's dope.
And let them two motherfuckers lock him in a pit, in a cage.
Put him in a cage.
And let him fight to the death.
Cage fight. Only one come out.
To the death. Nobody gets no money.
Yeah.
See who fucking
Since
survives.
you say you're not making no money on it anyway, let George Zimmerman fight someone in Attica.
To death.
In a cage and only one come out.
I'll promote that.
We'll promote that for you, George.
On our podcast. Oh, yo, this is Ice-T and this is games. But trip off this. Usually, y'all know I'm the gamer. This week, the gaming segment of the show will be brought to you by none other than Mick Benzo, the self-proclaimed non-gamer. What game you playing?
The one that almost get, carpal tunnel, So, see, I don't play the games that's on the television, but my daughter was telling me about this game, so I went and tried it out. I didn't want to, you know what? I'm going to tell you the name of it. Flappy Bird. Now, I know, no. See, you laughing, but this game is really hard. It looks very simple. It's hard as hell. And if you can make it to like level 5, if you can move across 5 of these holes, most of the time they bump their damn heads like a bunch of humans, but you make it past these 5 holes, you're going to be something else. Flappy Bird is a real good game. I know you heard about the dude.
Look, you finna tell me I'm playing all these games. I'm playing Gears of War. I'm playing Ghosts. I'm killing up shit. And you finna tell me with your big thug ass that you play Flappy Bird?
Look, you just tap the screen, try to make it across at least 5 of those little holes. Most of the time you bump your goddamn head.
And that's the game you play, Flappy Bird.
Flappy Birds, baby. Hey, look, man. I know y'all like Flappy Birds, man. Mick Benzo, all right? Sirius XM, right here at the podcast, man. I listen, Ice been talking about games so much, I went and my daughter told me to play it. I like this game.
Wait a minute, hold up. Is this the one that the dude pulled the game because he said people were threatening him?
I mean, listen, the game is hard. It looks real easy. So I think, as you said, the guy who created this had to pull it because people got mad.
They got mad, but I heard also he was making like $50,000 a day. They'd have had to kill me. Fuck a threat.
Hey, look, it's Flappy Bird, baby. Flappy Bird. You can't play. You can win.
I don't care if you can't win. If I'm making $50,000 a day, you gonna have to put a bullet in my black ass. Yeah, and that was games. Mick Benzo plays Flappy Birds. Imagine that. Okay, this is Ice-T. And let's talk about sports. Super Bowl, Mickey.
Super Bowl 38. I mean 48. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it was dirty 8. Super Bowl 48. Over at Ice-T's house with Ice, Coco, a whole bunch of people from other, TV shows.
Food.
Oh, no, the food was great, man. I think that was better than the damn Dirty Bowl. I mean, damn Super Bowl.
Who were you rooting for? We were all, everybody in the house.
I'm not going to pull back. I know it's late. I know y'all done heard about it, but I was rooting for Denver. I was really rooting for Denver. And I mean, I'm one of the loudest persons at any goddamn game. You cannot tell me that my team ain't gonna win.
Mickey stands up during the whole game.
And I think I'm in the damn game. But the first snap in Super Bowl 48, 48. I want y'all to understand. I keep saying D-I-R-T-Y. Dirty 8, because that was dirty. So Super Bowl 48, right? The first snap. I'm like, I'm good, Ice, I'm good. Don't worry. Man, listen, man. That's Manning, baby. That's Peyton Manning. We gonna be all right. About 5 more minutes into the game, I probably ain't said one goddamn word. They tore my ass up. I think that Denver Broncos playing Seattle Seahawks thought it was a preseason game. That was disgusting, man. I mean, come on, Ice, man.
No, I don't know. I think it just lets people know that football is a team sport, and as good as Manning is, you can't win with one player on the team. And Seattle came in there hyped. I mean, them boys was jumping around, they was moving around, and people knew he's a great quarterback, but no, you're throwing into the best defense, and I think they came to play. It just didn't seem like Denver showed up. We watched it. Over here, everybody was trying. You know how you got the game on and we got the surround sound going.
Ooh, I thought we was at the stadium.
Second half, we thought, okay, maybe second half after that coach goes in and, lights that fire. And when the dude ran the ball back,
a whole goddamn
we turned
touchdown.
The sound off.
Man, listen, I was done, but I was still thinking. I thought we could win.
We turned the sound off in our house and started listening to the new Body Count record.
Yeah. We went body count.
We had a listening party. It got the Super Bowl, man, and respect to the teams because it takes a lot of work to make it to the Super Bowl. But I think it was just a disappointing outcome. Respect out to Denver. Seattle, you deserved it. You whooped that ass. That's how you win. You whoop that ass. It cannot be denied. And you know, I think a lot of people mirror our feelings about that. Everybody kind of was like, damn.
No, I definitely want to speak about that because I thought Denver was going to do it, and we got our ass towed up.
You was on the phone with Sugar Ray yelling at the
Yeah,
beginning about
telling him
you
that
wasn't
his team
accepting his call.
man, listen, I lost my ass off. Lost my ass. But on another note, man, you know, that's the Super Bowl. I really enjoyed it, though. But guess what? Seattle, you were the best team. Sorry to say so. You guys are the best, though. Hey, look, on another note, I want to talk about baseball, right? Because New York Yankees, man, my man Alex Rodriguez, you know, he ended up dropping the lawsuit and the litigation with all the bogus going on. But my thing about Alex Rodriguez is he never came up positive in any drug test. None, not one. And he has to sit out for a whole year and lose $25 million.
I feel the same way about it. I mean, my thing is this, you know, Alex Rodriguez, they on him, they hot, they mad, he makes a lot of money. But I think these cats ain't just being totally honest. You know, I mean, I believe a great percentage of the professional football players are out there doing whatever they can. You know, they call it performance-enhancing drugs. I mean, why do we play this game like no one's doing that? You know, it's so ridiculous to me. It's like everybody, I mean, look, we just got finished talking about football. I mean, people are out there like monsters. They're running, they're hitting, and even humans.
See, but the thing about it, Ice, the thing about it, the enhancing drugs has been around for years. It's for every athlete from baseball, football, basketball, wrestling. It's always been in existence, even weightlifting. It's there. Yeah. So you can't say that everybody on the team is using it, but you can't say that everybody's not using it neither.
Exactly.
Y'all know that it's being used. Y'all just upset because the man was decent enough to tear up that goddamn baseball field and you couldn't catch him. So you made an example out of him. And he bowed down for it.
It's corny to me, you know what I'm saying? And people like to go into this self-righteous thing. Let me tell you, if there was some type of drug that I could take and I would get an Oscar next year, I'd be on that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Tie me down. I mean, it's because people are trying to get a competitive advantage out there, and everybody else, I mean, not everybody, but there's a great percentage of people out there on it. So I think that they kind of just crucifying Alex, and it's corny to me. You know, it's corny, and especially, did you see the doctor that came out?
Oh, come on, man.
That said I was doing it.
You know what's funny about the doctor? The guy says he was going to give him $20,000 if he shut up. You know that's a damn lie. You know that's a lot. But guess what, though? Alex Rodriguez loved the game of sports so much he just bowed out so we can think about playing baseball. Big up Alex Rodriguez.
And you know what? I mess with a lot of pro bodybuilders, and you know everybody, oh, well, they on juice, they on juice. Let me tell you like this. They may be on juice, but you still couldn't get that big. They go to the gym like 5 hours a day. I mean, you still have to do the work. There's nothing you can take and sit on the couch and get buffed. It just doesn't happen. You still have to put that work in. So I'm on Alex Rodriguez's side. If you got a problem with that, you know, fuck off. I don't really care.
Stand up, Alex Rodriguez.
That's my opinion.
The bat's not a magnet. He has to actually hit the goddamn ball regardless, okay? So listen, Alex Rodriguez, that was sports, man, right here at Final Level Podcast with Mick Benzo and Ice motherfucking T, baby. We do what we do.
We don't give a fuck. Look. Your website is important. With Squarespace, you can make a beautiful website with barely any effort or previous coding knowledge. Steroids certainly can't allow somebody to become buff just while sitting on the couch, though Squarespace allows anyone to build a website while just doing that. Squarespace's plans start at only $8 a month and come with a free domain name when you sign up for a year. $8 a month. Get a free trial with no credit card required just by going to squarespace.com. When you're blown away and ready to confirm a plan, use the offer code ICE to get 10% off. You'll be getting a great deal while you're supporting the podcast, helping to keep it free for you. That's SQUARESPACE.com, offer code ICE. Okay, since our last episode, we got a whole bunch of Final Level people emailing in their Squarespace websites. We said we would talk about them. Okay, Tyler I didn't say I could say your name. Catalonion from Kansas City built one called HappyRockDiscountSmokes.com on Squarespace with the offer code ICE. I never smoked before. No, I'm not a weed dude, but I ain't never seen a smoke shop that had a website that looked this dope. Matt Butchelholtz built how do you say this? CRIT critjuice.com. This is a Dungeon Dragons podcast. I mean, these guys maybe haven't taken showers for days, but their websites look good, okay? We even got some celebrities emailing us with their Squarespace websites. Comedian Willie Barcena built a new website on Squarespace. He's selling merchandise. He got his tour dates, video clips. You know what I'm saying? He's getting his money, and it looks good. Trust me, if these guys can do it, anybody can. All these websites look great on the computer, on the cell phones, tablets, as Squarespace optimizes your pages for everything. Thanks again to Squarespace. Please support them since they support us. Final Level Podcast, baby. This is TV. Coco got in this every murder show. I mean, she's got Investigative Discovery Channel. Then next to it, she got this other show called Snap.
Is that a comedy? Snaps? They telling jokes?
This is wives murdering their husbands, man. It's like on and on and on and on. And I'm looking at her like, bitch, what do you got plans for a nigga? What are you trying to find?
Oh, she's setting it up.
Are you trying to find the correct way to do away with me?
What's the name of the TV show?
One's called Snapped, and that's all about women killing their husbands.
Ain't
And then
that a
there's
bitch.
another channel called Investigative Discovery, which is just murders.
I don't think I'll let my wife Toya watch that shit, B.
Yo, she's watching it.
Oh, no way. No
They watching
way.
it. But I started to get off into it, and it's crazy what people will kill each other for and how small it could be. You know, now me, coming from the street,
Okay.
growing up around a lot of tough people, you know, very rarely is murder plotted out. Usually somebody's coming to get you. Usually somebody's robbing somebody.
Right, and
Usually it's
it
defensive.
happens.
It's
and
not
it happens.
like it's
right.
not
They didn't
like
plan it out. They ain't plan it out.
let's go murder.
Premeditated. That's premeditated. They
Murder
don't premeditate it. Yeah.
I mean, it might be a payback murder if you're in a gang, but
Right.
just looking over at your spouse in the bed and saying, I'm about to kill this motherfucker.
Did they kill him when he's asleep?
Dog, they kill him when they sleep. They poison him. They get a boyfriend to come kill him. They find hitmen. There was one lady the other night I'm watching. This bitch trip out this. She decides she gonna make it look like a suicide. So she gets a gun, shoots her husband in the head, goes to lunch with her kids, comes back, he ain't dead. Then she shoots him again.
Snap.
She shoots him again in the head and then said it was a suicide. How you shoot yourself twice in the head? One thing I've always noted about men and women, remember this, if you're ever in one of these snap situations, gentlemen and women, men are logical, women are emotional. If a guy pulls a gun on you, you might be able to talk him out of it. You might be able to say, yo, dude, you're going to go to prison. Is it, you know, and,
Right,
and get,
right.
and his
Talk him
brain
down.
might go,
Right.
you know, that's right. A woman, she's emotional. She gonna shoot you, then cry
Then
over
cry
you.
about it. Then say she's sorry. Then say
my
she's
baby,
sorry.
My baby. So, guys, if a woman ever pulls a knife on you or a gun on you, get the
Move out
fuck
their way. Move out
of
their
the
way.
You not talking her down. She's emotional at that point, and you're gonna die.
She's gonna do it.
That's what I
Just
learned
move.
from the show. The women are gonna kill you. Period. You know. So every time, you know, me and Coco don't get in no big fights or nothing like that. But, you know, I better not wake up in the middle of the night and see her looking at me.
Just staring at him. Just stare. What the hell? Nothing. I'm just looking.
Snap. And that was TV. Check it out at your own risk.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
Okay, this segment right here is called Behind the Scenes of SVU. Last week we talked about behind the scenes of Ice Loves Coco, so why don't we mix this up? People have been asking me a lot of questions on Twitter. On Twitter, I'm at Final Level. They've been like, well, what's the difference between...
A reality show and regular TV.
And regular TV.
So there is a difference.
Come on, you know, you was on long.
Yeah. But I want our audience at the podcast to know that there's truly a difference of an actor and someone acting.
And reality shows.
Mm-hmm.
So what? I guess I'll explain reality shows first. And this is from somebody who's been on a reality show, did 3 successful seasons. This is the difference. reality shows are based on reality. It's kind of like you're doing a sitcom with your friends. The closest thing to a real reality show would be something like a Big Brother where there's cameras just sitting there all the time. But every other show you watch, it's based on reality. It's kind of like, how could it be reality if I'm walking down the street and I go in a store? But it just so happens there's a camera crew in the store and everybody in the store got microphones on. You see? So you know who's going to be in that scene. What happens is you'll go in and you'll do your thing. They won't tell you what to say. That's the reality part of it. And whatever happens, happens, and then they edit that into the story. But when you walk into a restaurant, they know you're going to be in that restaurant, and everybody that's in that scene knows they're in it because they got on a mic.
Exactly. They mic'd up, right.
Now, the question is, how real are they? Well, some people, they're just real in front of the camera. They don't care. They just let it go. Like I was saying, the Hollywood Hillbillies, they don't seem like they care. They don't give a fuck. I didn't really give a fuck. I'm just going to say what I got to say. You know, we were just honest, and I think it showed. But some people, you put the camera on them,
and they act a fool.
They turn into somebody else.
Yeah.
They change. So you got to understand that I'm willing to say 80% of television is reality. Think about it. Dancing with the Stars, that's reality.
Mm-hmm.
The Voice, reality. Cops was the first reality show. Survivor, all these contest shows are reality show. Anytime you don't have a script like Law & Order SVU, it's a reality show. Some shows are more staged than others. Our show, we kind of would just go in it, and like what they would do is they would say, okay, we're going to shoot you guys for the next 2 months. What do you guys have going on in the next 2 months? And we would write it down. And then they would take the story and it would weave through the real events that were going to come up. So it was honestly our schedule, and they would just try to catch it. So very few things are spontaneous as far as scene-wise, but inside of each scene, they never know what's going to happen. You don't know what the fuck's going to go down. And that, I mean, you know, when me and you worked on a show, you kind of knew.
Yeah, you know where we're going.
But no one tells you where to go.
Exactly.
It just happens, you know. And that's kind of like what it is. And I think people get it by now. You know, they get it. They're like, okay, it's kind of based on reality of your life. And we were very proud of Ice Loves Coco. Now move over to SVU. This is called scripted drama. Mm-hmm. This is like doing a movie that never ends. With Law & Order SVU, you'll shoot 23 episodes a season. You're shooting 8 days to shoot 42 minutes. Well, yeah, 8 days, 42 minutes of time. And you're on script. You're saying the words that the writers have written for you. It's a little bit different because, you know, you got to memorize the lines. You got to know what to say. Two totally different gigs. I'll never forget one time Mariska was on this. We were doing this thing for VH1. VH1, I was hosting Hip Hop Honors. And the guy came and they were shooting a segue where I left SVU. So the guy walks on, and Chris and Mariska and all of us were there, and he goes, okay, so we're going to do this scene, and I'll point the cameras at you, and you guys just ad-lib something until, you know, you tell Ice that he's missing the show. And Mariska took the director to the side and said, excuse me, we are professional actors.
We don't ad-lib?
You got to tell us what to say.
We don't ad-lib here.
You got to tell us what to say. We don't ad-lib. Mm-hmm. So it's two different worlds. But being on SVU for all these years, you know, me coming in as a rapper who had made a few movies and then got on the television, after acting for 15 years, every day I feel that I've gotten acting now. It's an acquired skill. Yeah. So it's been a great experience. I don't really have any new SVU news. I guess everybody who's worrying was Mariska pregnant. She's not. But you know, stay tuned. Like I said, the big news on that show is who's coming into that office. Somebody new. It's coming into that office.
Can't wait.
So
can't spill it.
That's the difference between reality and scripted drama. And you know, it's no puzzle. You know, if you think about reality, there's like one scene we did in Ice Loves Coco where Coco's sister was having a baby, and me and Coco were out in the middle of a lake in a boat.
And had to come back in.
Right. And people were like, wow, you were really on that boat. I'm like, with a cameraman? How the fuck did they shoot in the boat if there wasn't a cameraman in there with us? So there's lots of things that I guess, and I hope people are, oh, Ice, you're bursting our bubble. I'm like, okay, if you want to live in some world, a fantasy world, you know, and I'm not saying that to diss reality shows. I'm just here just to give you, I think it's common sense. You know, reality is based on reality. And that was television and behind the scenes of Ice Loves Coco and SVU in one. And this segment is called I'm Not a Hater, but I Hate Shit. You know what I hate, Mick? I hate these commercials that come on TV about the drugs that they're telling you to take a drug because something may be wrong with you.
Oh, so when you tell me if I got a cold, right, or I got a sore throat,
right,
and they tell me to take a Sucress,
right,
but my ass gonna tighten up later, I ain't gonna be able to shit.
Right. The after effect.
After effect is a motherfucker, man. That's why I don't take medicine, man.
The side effect is worse than the problem. You got a problem with your leg. They telling you, my favorite one is the side effect of this might be sudden death.
Oh, no, how about the one they said, if you take this, it may cause you to think suicide. If it does, I need you to call your doctor. What the fuck you giving it to me for then?
Another one says you will get mania.
Oh, man.
A side effect is mania and then anal leakage.
Right, I told a person I had a nose, my nose was very congested. They said, if you take this, though, you might get constipated. What the fuck that got to do with my motherfucking nose?
It moves
the mucus to the ass. What the fuck is going on? Hey, man, hey, Iceberg, this is crazy.
It moves the mucus to your ass.
That's crazy. So it tighten up your, oh, my goodness.
And then the commercial's like a minute. 10 seconds is the drug, and the whole end of it is the disclaimer with a dude talking like 300 miles an hour, right? So you got to read and listen to this stuff. I'm just like, yo, man, why would I take any of these drugs? And then if you like Chris Rock said, if you watch enough of them, they'll convince you got something. They say stuff like, are you tired after work?
You know what's funny?
Hold up, Mick. They'll say shit like, are you tired after work? Like, who the fuck isn't tired after work?
If you work, you're tired.
Yeah.
And they want you to take a pill talking about it can keep you up all night. Oh, no, the best one I love, the best commercial that you just said, Viagra. If your motherfucking Johnson stay hard for 4 days, you need to call a doctor. Who walks around with a hard on for 4 days straight?
I always said if my dick stayed hard for 4 days, I'm not calling a doctor. I'm calling everybody.
Now, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But and then after they give you the drugs, so you watch the drug commercial. I was watching one for testosterone, like for men. I'm older, maybe you need a little pump,
Right.
Then a week later, here comes a dude, comes on a lawyer saying, if you died from these drugs, if you're sick. So now they're suing. So the drug is on one channel. There's another guy with a lawsuit on another channel. You like, well, wait, what the it's very confusing. I just don't know about advertising for drugs, period, on television, if that's a good thing. I'm thinking you should usually go to a doctor first. The doctor should prescribe you a drug, and then you seek it out. You don't just look at television and say, I need this drug. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, that's dope.
That's funny.
That's funny. But on another note, Iceberg, I want to talk about the oldest drug that's making a comeback in the United States, man. It has no color, no creed, no age to it. You know what I mean? It's called heroin. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Don't try it.
Yeah, heroin is
very addictive.
Heroin is on a comeback now. Yeah. And it's becoming popular. And it's interesting. Like my son is about 22 years old, and he smokes a little weed, and I told him, I said, you know what, I'm not ever going to get at you about weed or having a little drink now and then, but stay away from the hard drugs. That's where I got to draw the line. And the thing of it is, right now, these things are becoming popular. But the problem is also you got to figure out, what makes somebody want to start doing heroin. There's
I
a lot
think
of
what it
issues
is, too, though, is
along.
television. Television keep promoting it. When they telling you that people have passed on or did this and did that, and they are the ones that are feeding this into our brains about heroin, unless you wouldn't even know about it. It wouldn't be there.
I disagree. I think it's a subculture. I think there's kids out there that are really just looking for answers. A lot of depression that's going on around the world. A lot of people are just trying to find a way out. Drugs really, are medicating another problem. When people are on drugs, there's something else
that's bothering them,
that's going on in their life.
So they think that can actually make the problem go away.
And we know it doesn't.
No.
And, we speak from the heart because we've had people in our
We got
close
friends
family.
and we know people that do it as well, so we telling them the same thing. It ain't no good fucking thing to do, man. Leave the heroin alone. It does kill.
I mean, in all drugs, I'm talking about alcohol, I'm talking about coke, I'm talking about crystal meth. All this stuff is very addictive. And, once it gets a hold of you, it's damn near, I mean, I hate to say it, but it seems like it's impossible to kick. And it takes a family and it takes people, and like I said, we got people in our clique. And people are like, well, y'all got money, y'all got this. It doesn't even matter how much money you got. It doesn't matter. It's very hard to get somebody to save themselves from addiction. So if you out there and you young, I mean, heroin, man, I never heard anybody say anything good about it, So I don't know why that would be even an option to get high. I don't even know why that would even be an option.
I tell you one thing, drug has no age limit.
Yeah.
It takes everybody down. So,
so
it's on the rise. We want y'all to know from the Final Love Podcast, man, don't get involved in that, man.
Yeah,
and don't go sniffing no damn sweethearts like you kids are crushing that up now. Now they getting high for candy. Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, people are going to try to figure a way to get a buzz. But, on a real tip, seriously, man, some of these drugs have a very negative connection. And why people decide it's a good idea, that escapes me. But from the Final Level Podcast, if you do have a drug problem out there and you dealing with addiction, get some help, man. Don't be so big that you can't go to somebody and try to clean your act up. I mean, one thing Ice-T has always said, I've never gotten high. I don't smoke weed. Like I said, I might have a thing of champagne in my hand now and then. But, as far as just trying to get high on my ass and lay around, that never been my get down. I always felt it was non-productive. And me being an orphan, I always felt like if I ever hit the ground, I might not get back up. So I always had to take care of myself. So when I'm out and I'm partying, I might have a glass of water, and people respect that now. They go, okay, all right, in my life, I was like the designated driver before it was in, my boys. I remember I'll tell you a drug story with me. When I was growing up, I remember I had this dude, he was like, yo, man, hit the joint. I'm like, I don't want to hit the joint. Well, you a bitch if you don't hit the joint. I'm like, well, if I'm a bitch, why don't you make me hit the joint? And next thing you know, why you tripping? I'm like, nah, nigga, just fall back. Later on, the same guy, I won't mention his name, somebody else was trying to get me high. He like, oh, Trey don't get high. Now he's in my corner. And in life, when you stand your ground, that bully will now respect you for that. Because if he couldn't make you do it, ain't nobody finna make you do it.
Exactly.
So now my homies just decided, okay, Ice will always be the one that's sober. And it's serious business. So, we play a lot on this podcast, but every once in a while we touch on something that's serious to us. So this is not a laughing matter, man. Take care of yourself. Okay, listen. Your health is important. The reason why so many of these drug companies invest in medicine that has so many side effects is because it's hard to patent anything natural and charge their consumers high prices for it. Though it's not just about medicine. Eating natural food and putting organic products into your body is very important to maintain a top level of physical and mental health. But it's hard to find food that tastes good and is available conveniently and is reasonably priced. Then I heard about Nature Box. Nature Box is incredibly affordable, made with wholesome ingredients, is 100% nutritionist approved, and their snacks taste great. I dare you to try and find any snacks that taste this good. You can even get the pickiest kids to enjoy this. Let me tell you, that banana bread granola is the bomb. You can pick through a variety of 8 different types of boxes or let them surprise you with their discovery box. Nature Box is also available in 3 different sizes. The Deluxe Snacker, 5 bags for $19.95. The Happy Snacker, 10 bags for $29.95. And the Smart Snacker, 20 bags for $49.95. Their monthly box always ships free to the U.S. mainland, and each bag has big man servings to ensure you won't be left hungry. For 50% off your first box, go to naturebox.com/iced. That's naturebox.com/ICET. Thanks again to Nature Box for keeping our stomachs full and the podcast free. Now, we know a lot of y'all Final Level people are already enjoying Nature Box snacks, so tweet us, let us know what you think about them. Hey, Final Level Podcast, and this is the philosophy segment. You know, one of the main diseases and things that are going on in our world right now is this epidemic of hate. You know, hate is just another word for envy. I tag haters as losers that talk, but everybody has haters. Everybody out there. Hate is like the byproduct of love. You know, if you're really loved, you're definitely going to have a lot of haters. You know, ask Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just comes with it. You know, if I sit in the room and I say I love Allen Iverson as a basketball player, somebody in the room is going to say he sucks. Sometimes people hate just to be different. Usually, the person that hates you the most feels they should be in your position. Let me explain this to you. If you watch Formula One race driving, you're not really going to hate one of those drivers because you don't feel like you should be him. So you're going to hate somebody who you feel is in your position. So it's a very intimate thing. And I just tell people, just look at it as a compliment. You know, they're mad at you. You know, they want to be in your position. And remember this is the philosophy part. Haters hate up, okay? Haters never hate anyone below them. Like a person that's doing good is never going to look at somebody down on the ground, a bum, and have any hate for him. They hate someone who's above them. They pick someone out that they feel has accomplished something they haven't accomplished, and then they try to make excuses why they got there and the hater didn't get there. They're trying to convince themselves that, oh, there's a reason, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, you got a job, you know what I'm saying? You must be kissing ass, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be another reason other than they're just better or they work harder, you know? And, you know, girls, you know, oh, I don't like her, you know, because they might feel this girl might look better or have a better body or whatever weird shit's going on, and so they try to talk down on them. Remember this. Cat Williams said it best. If you got 10 haters, your job should be to try to have 12, you know, because you're definitely doing something that these negative people, it's bothering them. You know, one of my mottos is, have a great day, make a hater sick. And one lady was asking me on Twitter the other day, what do you do if your friends are haters? I say, I just say, address it. Let them know. Say, why are you so jealous about this person? Why are you concerning yourself with what they're doing? Do you get yourself together, and you won't be caught up in all that drama. I say separate yourself from the haters. They're negative. They'll drain you to death, you know. But we're positive, and that's why I said if I do this podcast, man, we're not talking bad or down on somebody. You know, if I hate you, there's a good goddamn reason. You know, I talked about George Zimmer. I got a problem with that dude.
Now, but that's a guy we do not like.
We don't like him. But other than just being envious of somebody or
of their accomplishments is corny, man.
That shit is corny, man. Don't fall into that. And just remember this. Haters hate up. So if somebody's hating on you, that's because you're above them. And take it as a compliment and keep it moving. You know, I'm telling them to kick rocks and eat a dick. Yo, this is Ice-T. Let's talk about music.
The Art of Rap is the first Ice-T film, and I really felt I had to do this movie because rap music saved my life. When I first heard rap, it just blew my mind. I ended up coming to New York and met with the masters, and they told me one thing: rap music requires skill. This film isn't about the money, the cars, the jewelry, the girls. This film is about the craft. What it takes to write a rap, what goes on inside the head of the masters. We go from South Bronx all the way to the West Coast. This shows you how powerful rap music is, how it's changed the world. This isn't a game, this is the art of rap.
And this is Mick Benzo, right here at Final Level Podcast. I want to talk about, since I'm a Zulu Nation member with Africa Bambaataa, and music is something that I've grew up with for a couple of years, like 40 of those things. I watched Tony Braxton and Babyface on TV One a couple of days ago, live concert. They don't do music like that no more. That's what I'm kind of missing in the music industry. I mean, we talk about hip-hop and R&B, same shit, but it's all good music, but ain't no good music out here, man.
Your live music.
It's missing that for real, man, and I can't understand why we don't understand that. They use a lot more gimmicks on stage. I want to use this right here. I love Beyonce to death. She's dope. She's dope. She hangs out the president's house. She didn't have to get up on BET and look half naked to do a show. We know who Beyonce is, and she can sing.
Like seeing
but she can sing though. She don't need to keep doing. She can really sing. She don't need no more gimmicks.
Well,
Beyonce's a winner.
Mean, I think that's part of her image, though, Mick. I mean, it's not so much. I think Madonna and certain women, that's just they get down. And Beyonce, also think about it. Beyonce just had a baby.
And she looks good.
So maybe she want to let these girls, she got haters. We don't think, Beyonce got haters.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Maybe people were out there, she might want to, it might have been a female thing where she was doing that more for the girls than us.
But guess what? She still could sing, and that's the kind of music
she definitely could blow.
I want to,
Bruno Mars, now we talking about music, I think Bruno Mars shut the Super Bowl down. He did great.
Dope, did phenomenal. Great.
Yeah, he killed it. And people, Bruno this, Bruno that. I mean, if y'all don't know, and leaving Las Vegas, Bruno Mars was 4 years old. He was the world's youngest Elvis. This man paid his dues. Red Hot Chili Peppers, good friends of mine, Anthony, Flea, seeing them on stage. That was a great thing. Another music thing I saw recently. Go ahead, Mick.
Let me say to Queen Latifah, one of our hip-hop historians.
Yeah, I love. She was there.
Did a great thing at the Super Bowl. See, we're not going to leave out hip-hop is probably one of the biggest things that came out of USA, man. Out of America, really, man.
No, I was happy to see Queen Latifah there.
The
That was
Queen
my
did
dog.
Great, man.
For
and
real.
sound good, too.
Yeah, me and Queen Latifah had to clear a bar out one night, punching motherfuckers you don't even know about that part.
Oh, they don't know about that part.
Me and
They
Latifah had to thump one night and let some people know when we were out on tour together. Me and her had to bang on some cats. She's not a game. If you ever got to fight Latifah, put both your fists up and get ready.
Right, don't be windmilling.
No
windmill.
She's
boxing.
She's gonna knock your ass out. Another thing I saw on music, I watched the Metallica movie the other night, and it was incredible. People that have never seen Metallica live, the movie was dope. They have a concert film out, and I've been fortunate enough to play with Metallica, but I thought that was a good movie with them live and stuff. And on another final music note,
got some update on Body Count?
Body Count is booking summer tours right now. We're going to be on a couple of dates on the Metal Mayhem tour, run by Kevin Lyman, and they're finding dates. We're going to try to knock out as many dates as we can in the 2-3 month hiatus I have this summer. So we will be playing in the States. The album will be wrapped up very soon. It's being mixed right now. And get ready. We got videos planned. We got a special thing for the album, for the videos we're going to talk about later, a special way that we're going to involve the fans in creating some of the Body Count videos for this album. That's all I'm going to say.
That's good enough.
A lot of you viral video makers. We're going to allow you to be part of this album. That's what's up in music. Okay, now it's time to take some callers. This is Ice-T, live. Talk to me, baby.
You have Sean Marrow on the line. For this call, I'll be Phenomenal One. And I was browsing through Netflix, and I see that they are definitely promoting the art of rap. Really appreciated being able to see it coming up on Netflix. How do you feel about that?
Well, when we put the movie out, we had a limited release in the theaters. People don't know, but it costs a lot of money to get movies in theaters. It's hard, it's difficult. We put it in just enough that we would be eligible for the awards, like the Oscars for documentaries. We didn't get that, but that's why it went into the theaters. We knew that the life of this movie would be on Netflix, pay-per-view, DirecTV and all those things. So we're just happy people are enjoying it and getting a chance to see it in their home. I mean, Art of Rap was a labor of love. That was something I wanted to give back to hip-hop, just to kind of let people know where it came from. We know it's going in different directions, but I wanted the people to get a grip of what hip-hop was to me when I came out.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I call myself a hip-hopologist when it comes to the music in the good old days. I wanted to really, sign on to basically say to both you and Nick that, you two are setting the standard when it comes to podcasts. I personally foresee a plethora of different artists, both old school as well as new age. I can't call them new school personally. I'll just say new age. Following your lead. Basically, you're appreciated for continuing in a platform that your followers can not only relate to you, but also spend a one-on-one moment with you. And not too many have allowed their fans, their following, that opportunity. So, to you both, thank you.
Hey, well,
Now, we definitely appreciate that, sis. We're going to try to relive that Art of Rap for a real tour, because we know that kind of music is missing in our era. And people like you calling from Philadelphia that's acknowledging that you saw the Art of Rap and enjoyed it and saw it several times, that means that it's definitely something that we're going to continue to push forward to try to do. And we care about our family. We don't call y'all fans. Y'all more our family. People like you call.
Because you keep us alive.
Yeah. We need folks like you to talk about us,
Yeah, so we appreciate those words.
You're keeping us alive.
Thank you for the call, okay? Hey, who's this?
Yeah, my name is Matt, man, from Los Angeles. And I just wanted to give you your props, that even, so many years later in the game that, your name still rings out. I still listen to all your albums. I really wanted to thank you for putting out the Art of Rap. Sometimes I get so disappointed with what's out there because they're not focusing on the essence of the art.
Well, you know what it is, homie? I'm gonna tell you what it is. They're missing the point that hip hop can move something, not just a party. It can move things. It can change the way people see things. It can change the way people lives are. So if you constantly just saying, hey, I got money and this is the party and this is okay, that's a part of hip hop. It always has been. But now try to move something. I had a kid walk up to me in Brooklyn, a young kid, and he said to me, this was recently, he said, Ice-T, okay, we got all the money, we got all the cars, we got all the bitches. What's next? You feel me? That's what hip hop has to go. I mean, if you got money, that's one song on the album. Okay, now what do you talk about after that? And if and that's what you're missing. And I'm, people look at me, they like, well, Ice, you hating? I'm like, no, I'm trying to inspire you, because if you look at me, 30 years in the game, still in the game, and you want this, at some point, you're going to have to say something that's important. Music is powerful if you take it for what it is. But we're going to move to the next caller. I really appreciate you, baby. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Hey, this is Ice-T and Mick. You're on the Final Level Podcast. What's good?
Well, this is so exciting. I'm Melissa. I'm from Wichita, Kansas.
Wow, Kansas. What's going on, Melissa?
Actually just watching you right now on SVU. Big fan.
Chung chung.
Right now I'm a social worker at a middle school here in town, and I was wondering if you ever get out and about to do, I heard earlier you do lectures at universities. Do you ever get out and about to do lectures at middle school, high school level?
Oh yeah, I do, but it's just difficult because with the show, I'm under contract and I have to be in New York City 5 days a week on call.
Yeah, I get that. We got some pretty tough kids doing some crazy shit, that is for sure. And I just I don't know. I just have a ton of respect for you, and I think they would have a ton of respect for you as well.
Yeah, I talk to kids. I've gone to juvenile facilities. I started off talking in high school. When I get a chance, I definitely go in there, you know. But, I mean, the fact that you're there and you care, that's all that matters. You know, I mean, we all know when you're young, when you're in high school and junior high, you think you are so smart, but you're so dumb at that point in life. And all of us, if we look back at what we thought was the right thing to do, I mean, when I was their age, I thought my life was going to basically be some money that I had taken from somebody else. That I had gotten so negative about the world around me that I felt that was going to be my key to success. And I didn't know I had any talent. I didn't have any self-esteem as far as anything other than some negativity. So I'm a totally different person now. And, you know, it's hard, you know, when you're young. It's definitely hard. So I understand. You got to have compassion for these kids. They're not stupid. They just don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. And a lot of them come from areas where they're just trying to survive every day.
Hey, I got a song on my new record where the hook, it says, survival makes you bloodthirsty. You know, it's when you're pushed against the wall, and that's just human nature. You know, if you don't have anything to eat or a place to sleep or any heat in your house, you're not very creative at that moment. You're trying to survive. You can become artistic once you have creature comforts, once you have food and you got those things. Okay, now let's get artistic. But when your back's against the wall, it's hard to think about much other than survival.
You're so right.
It's human instinct. Hey, but thanks for the call, all right? And tell a friend about this podcast. You'll be on the 18th.
Okay, will do. Thanks.
Hey, this is Ice-T and Mick. You're on the podcast. What's good?
This is Brad Bannon. I'm calling you from Cary, North Carolina. It's right outside of Raleigh and Durham.
That's the business. What's happening, man?
Well, first of all, I want to say this. You might say this is a dream come true because I've been a fan of yours since the beginning. I've just been a huge fan. And when I was in college, I wrote an essay comparing your work to Amiri Baraka, who recently died. And I'm, you know, just in the sense of you all, to a certain extent, following the same paths. I didn't have the internet back then, so I hadn't had your book, and I didn't know, but there was some stuff out there about you in the world. And I was just wondering, I heard you talk a little bit earlier about these lectures, but have you ever seen or heard of any courses that, you know, not just lectures and having people come in, but actual courses that you know, teach rap, hip-hop, especially early stuff, as poetry, like the African American poetry class that I had 20 years ago in college?
I don't know. I can't name a college that has that curriculum, but I have seen people send me always like my name in textbooks and freedom of speech, a lot of First Amendment stuff. Excuse me, because of the cop killer incident. So I made it into the textbooks. When we started doing the university and lecture tours, people were kind of amazed because they were like, wow, you know, these college kids want to listen to rappers. And I'm like, well, we're outspoken. We're saying something. I mean, right now, if you ask yourself in the world, if you say, name some leaders, it's very difficult. You know, it's very difficult to pick a leader. There's no, you know, we're past the days. Like even right now, we're headed toward an election. You know, people want to say they hate Barack Obama so much, but I'm like, okay, well, who's next?
Well, and I remember, you know, along those lines, you know, it wasn't too long after, you know, I went from undergrad when I wrote that essay to law school, and we were, you know, I took a First Amendment course, and we talked about you, and you know, I basically said, you know, this is something that, you know, you've seen and heard other people do, other artists in other forums, you know, talk about killing police officers or portraying themselves killing police officers. And, you know, it's not, if it's okay for Clapton to shoot a sheriff, you know, in the circumstances, then I don't know why everybody's getting all worked up about Ice-T. But do you see any, for somebody like me who, I mean, I will admit, I don't listen to radio and I don't keep up really with new and emerging artists, but do you see artists today that are I mean, I know there's still hip-hop and there's still rap, but do you see artists who are as conscious and who write music as conscious and as socially conscious as you did?
There's a few, you know, but you have to go underground, because once you actually start to get on the radio, yeah, well, it's been homogenized. You know, like one of the kids in my movie, Immortal Technique. He's one of the best that ever did it. He's very conscious. And then you got kids like Lupe Fiasco who's very conscious. You got even Kendrick Lamar. He touches on different topics that most of the hip-hop kids have kind of just left. You know, because kind of like the game is like this, you know, they're putting money over here, and if you go for the money, you're going to dilute the art. If you just want to say what you want to say, you're going to take a chance. You probably won't get on the radio. You probably won't get that commercial success. I never got on the radio. I mean, I was having gold, platinum records without ever being on the radio. So here I am now on a podcast, which once again is where I belong, you know.
When you bring the art of rap tour, please bring it around Raleigh, North Carolina.
That's the business, you know. We make sure we see you there too. Thank you very much, and keep telling people about the podcast. We're trying to get to 1 million downloaders, you know what I'm saying? People said all you need is 100,000. We already got that. We want to get to 1 million, you know. I want to get, the beauty of this is if I'm getting this just talking shit, then we should get 1 million real easy, because this is easy. You know, because I'm just being Ice-T for y'all. You dig?
I'll be a soldier for the podcast.
Hey, that's what we need. What do you think, Mickey? The calls are incredible.
This is our 4th Final Level podcast. We hope that you enjoy it because we enjoy y'all and all the people that have actually downloaded this. So I want to give a few shout-outs to some of the people that hit up Ice and Mick at gmail.com. I want to shout out to Jake Flanagan, William Hoffman, Aaron Hankins, Lizette Simmons, Michael Patrick Rogers, Wayne Johnson, Sarah Sassy, Kareem Harper, Shannon Gonzalez, and Louis Romero. Want to give y'all a shout out for checking into the Ice and Mick at gmail.com. Y'all keep them coming, and we do check every email. Thank y'all very much. If you are listening, do me one favor. Tell one more of your friends, and I'll be satisfied. Yeah. I'm Mick Benzo.
And I'm Ice-T, and we only do this because we having fun. We out.
That's how I'm living. 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 That's how I'm living.